You're with us here on Midcap Radar. The market is at the day's low, 186 odd points down, 10,412. This is a fresh wave of selling which has hit the screen. And it looks like this is essentially a little bit of selling which is coming up in anticipation of what the RBI may do, not do. Just be careful and maybe do what you want to do post the RBI meeting, one way or the other. But this seems to be lightening up ahead of that. The meeting is crucial in that sense, just because it comes at a time when the market's been in a pretty nervous kind of state. 25 basis point in terms of benchmark rate hike, that seems to be priced in. Can they do more? Will they do more? Will there be some measures on the NBFC front, financial institutions, etc., given the mayhem we've seen there? Those are the kind of questions which are on top of minds. And by the way, we're going to address some of that with an analyst in terms of expectations, especially for that big beat around NBFC space in just a bit. But for now, it's 184 odd points lower. We should actually quickly look at the Bank Nifty as well, because even though earlier, about a couple hours back, the Nifty was down 120, 130 points, the Bank Nifty was flat. I mean, actually, it's still pretty benign, 0.25% lower. And that is quite something, given the fact that the Nifty is down almost 1.75 odd percent or so. So there is some support coming in there as banks are concerned. With me is my colleague Anisha. Anisha, hi.
Hi, Well, yes, as you mentioned, Nifty has been seeing consistent pressure. In fact, for the result, given it was a truncated, already down 5%. And I find it difficult to believe that in the August end, we were sitting at a level of 11,760. So almost a 9% cut is what we have seen from the highs. So clearly coming under a lot of pressure, and we are looking forward to what the RBI will say. And that should be there within the hour. We'll get the update from the RBI. But let's start up the show with the top headlines. No respite for the bulls on Dalal Street. The Sensex, the Nifty continue to sell off, led lower by Reliance and other oil and gas stocks. Mid-cap index falls in line.
Oil prices eased from a 4-year high. Brent near $85 per barrel stems the rupee fall and pulls yields down a little bit. Nifty Bank outperforms the frontline indices.
Oil marketing companies take a sharp knock for the second straight day. Brokerages cut earning estimates and targets a day after fuel price cut announced by the government. Weak sentiment rubbed off on other oil PSUs. ONGC and Oil India tanked 10 to 14%.
Titan is among the few stocks gaining today. The management is saying that the jewelry business has picked up in the second quarter after a relatively soft first quarter. IDBI Bank is also seeing some buying on the back of that open offer, which we saw coming in from LIC.
And all eyes on Governor Urjit Patel as the RBI will tread a thin line, ensuring liquidity while keeping its inflation mandate on the radar. A CNBC TV 18 poll shows 80% participants expect a 25 basis point hike, which if happens will be the third consecutive hike by the central bank.
Okay, let's get some opinion right on the top as far as markets go. Ashish Chaturmoda is with us. Ashish, afternoon. So you were just saying that around here, 10,400 seems to be crucial levels.
Hi, Prashant. So yes, this is a crucial level because if you look at this is the after 2016, this is the first time we are hitting, we are going below last quarter's low. So this is what we have not witnessed since 2016 September, and this is what we are witnessing in 2018 September. This time, if you look at India VIX, it has jumped almost 35-40% in last couple of weeks. And if you look at this week itself, we have seen almost 15-16% jump in India VIX. Now, considering all this, if you look at the last important support, it is at around 10,400 odd zone. And even if you look at the options data, this is where we are seeing the maximum positions getting built on. So I think if these levels gets broken down on a downside, then I think that can have a very severe impact on downside. My sense is that if market has to take support today, being an RBI policy, ideally this is the area where some pullback should come into the market. And if we don't see a pullback from these levels, then I think there can be a severe drop which could be witnessed in the market. As far as on upside is concerned, since we are much below this 200-day moving average, which is around 10,747.50, even if the pullback comes, I don't think it's going to last beyond 10,650, 700 zone. So I think even if there is any recovery, ideally this recovery should be used for reducing your long exposure into the markets.
10,400, is it an important retracement of some sort? Or, I mean, it was also the lows that we got to in the May sell-off.
Yes, so I think that's a very, very critical point. And if you look at even the retracement point, we have broken 23.8% retracement. And now if you look at 10,400 becomes an extremely important make or break level. Once you see a breakdown below 10,400, I think then you might see index hitting even 10,200 to 10,150 kind of zone. So this is very, very critical. Considering even the put option writing which we are witnessing at these levels, if this level gets broken down, then I think there will be a huge long unwinding which will start happening into the markets.
Okay, so that was about Nifty, but in terms of stocks, how can the investors play around the stocks? You are looking at any buy or selling ideas?
See, as far as buy is concerned, only, pharma is one basket which is looking little promising, and within that, Cipla is one stock where I've been seeing that consistently for last 4 weeks, there's a good amount of, long build-up which is happening. Stock has not seen any major sell-off in this entire last 2-3 weeks time frame. So that gives me a sense that around 630, 635, there's a strong base created in the stock. So I think this is a long candidate on upside. 680 is the target I'm expecting in Cipla. But on the short side, I think Bajaj Auto is one stock which is looking very weak. It is near the 52-week low, but if you look at last 3 days data, clearly huge short build-up has been started witnessing in this stock. So I think now with a stop below about 26.25, this is a short. On downside, I'm expecting at least 100 rupees drop from current levels. So 24.75 is the target I'm expecting in Bajaj Auto. Repco Home Finance, this is one stock which I had recommended earlier also in your show. I think this is a clear breakdown on all time frame, weekly, monthly, all chart frame. It is a major breakdown. And if you look at the OI position in last 3 weeks, there's a significant amount of short build-up happening between 500 to 400 zone. So I think now 410, 415 becomes an extremely important resistance point. Keep that as a trading stop loss. On downside, I'm expecting Repco Home to hit 370, 360 zone in next 3-4 trading sessions.
Ashish, financials, I mean, the Bank Nifty is down 35 points. That is strong in a market which is down 180 on the Nifty. Anything, is that Bank Nifty telling us anything, or?
It's just because of RBI policy, Prashant, because no one would like to take a call when RBI policy is there. But one important data point which I would like to mention is that today 12.5% open interest has been added into Bank Nifty, and Bank Nifty has not even filled the gap which saw yesterday. So there was a gap down opening, and that gap gets filled at around 25,050 zone. So till 25,050 levels are not crossed on upside, no bulls are going to take a serious attempt to take a long bet. So I think 25,050 becomes an important resistance point, and if that gets crossed over, you might see a good short covering. But at this juncture, since we have not crossed that, I think 25,050 will act as a very important resistance point. And in that situation, if we break 24,800 post RBI policy, then I think there can be a significant drop towards 24,500, 24,450 kind of zone.
Okay, Ashish, thank you so much for joining us with that perspective. But it is time now for a quick break on the show. We are just a few minutes away from the RBI policy. We'll get you the details and the expectations of the CNBC TV 18 monetary policy poll when we return. And Santosh Singh of Haitong Securities will also join us to discuss the NBFC space and the RBI policy expectations.